My name is Lynn Friesen. I'm a teacher, a father, a lifelong learner. I spent over 15 years in education teaching in urban classrooms, on Native American reservations, and now in North Omaha. My path into leadership hasn't been by chance, it's been quite intentional. Like many of you, I came into this work with a deep sense of purpose. Over time, that purpose has been shaped and sharpened by experience and by education. Through my studies in educational leadership at Doane University, I've engaged in 6 transformational frameworks that every educator should understand. These aren't just academic terms, they're tools for reflection, connection, and leadership. Today, I want to share what these concepts mean, how they work, and why they matter. This is more than my story. It's an invitation to rethink how we lead, how we teach, and how we build better schools. True Colors. True Colors is a personality typing system that helps individuals understand their core temperament and how it influences their interactions with others. It breaks personality into 4 dominant colors: blue, gold, green, and orange. Those who fall under the category of blue are seen as empathetic, passionate, relationship-driven. Gold is usually organized, loyal, detail-oriented. Green, those folks are analytical, independent, and conceptual thinkers. Whereas orange means you're energetic, spontaneous, and usually action-oriented. In the classroom, understanding True Colors can be a game changer. It gives educators insight into why students behave the way they do and why colleagues may approach situations differently. A student who constantly challenges routines may not be defiant. They may simply lead with orange spontaneity. A quiet student might be green, processing internally and needing time before responding. For leaders, knowing your true colors helps you identify blind spots, build better teams, and tailor communication. I personally identify with blue and orange. I lead with empathy and urgency. But I've learned the importance of integrating gold's structure and green's logic. When we teach with our colors in mind, we honor the colors of those around us. We build more inclusive, supportive learning communities. Consensus decision making. Consensus decision making is about collective ownership. It's not about getting your way. It's about ensuring that everyone's voice is heard and that the final decision reflects shared understanding and commitment. Too often, leadership is confused with authority, but true leadership is rooted in trust and collaboration. In a consensus process, ideas are surfaced, debated, refined, and finally agreed upon, not through coercion, but through connection. This method encourages patience, deep listening, and humility. It forces us to pause and ask, whose perspective is missing? And who's being left out of this decision? For schools, this approach is transformative. When students help co-create classroom norms, they take ownership in them. When teachers are part of shaping school policy, implementation becomes more authentic. And when leaders create space for staff consensus, they foster cultures of respect and belonging. As a teacher, I've seen the impact of consensus in student government, in PLCs, and in classroom routines. The decisions may take longer, but the buy-ins last longer too. Norms of collaboration. The norms of collaboration, as outlined by Gartson and Wellman, are a set of communication habits that support meaningful dialogue and shared inquiry. Pausing, paraphrasing, posing questions, putting ideas on the table, providing data, paying attention to self and others, presuming positive intent. These norms are not just conversation tricks, they're a mindset. They slow us down, invite curiosity, and build the trust needed for complex thinking and innovation. In my early years of teaching, I often responded quickly and defended my ideas forcefully. Over time, I learned the power of the pause. I learned to paraphrase, to clarify, not to correct. I learned to pose questions, not statements. In leadership, these norms are essential for building psychological safety. They create space for all voices, especially those who might otherwise stay silent. In a diverse school community, using norms consistently can reduce conflict, increase collaboration, and strengthen professional learning communities. Gandhi's leadership lessons. Mahatma Gandhi's leadership was grounded not in command, but in moral authority. He led not by force, but by example, through discipline, sacrifice, and vision. Gandhi reminds us that how we lead is just as important as what we lead. His example calls us to act with humility, consistency, and integrity. In education, we're called to lead from the heart, not just the head. That means modeling the behavior we expect from others, responding with calm in moments of tension, speaking truth without pride or ego. When students test your patience, Gandhi reminds us, be the change. When students resist equity, Gandhi whispers, serve them anyway. Gandhi's lessons are especially vital in today's polarized climate. They remind us that leadership is not domination, it's devotion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are not just buzzwords, they're commitments. They require continuous learning, self-examination, and courageous action. Dr. Beverly Daniel Tatum's moving walkway metaphor teaches us that racism is a system we are all moving through. Unless we actively walk against it, we unconsciously move with it. Dina Simons adds that equity without emotional safety is performative. It's not enough to diversify curriculum or track discipline data. We must build classrooms where every student feels valued, protected, and empowered. For educators, this means examining our biases, listening deeply to marginalized voices, naming racial trauma when it appears, embedding equity in policy, practice, and pedagogy. As a Black male educator, I've walked into rooms where I was the only one who looked like me. I've seen the light fade from students who stopped believing school wasn't for them. DEI is not a department, it's a daily discipline. Trauma-informed equity. Trauma-informed teaching begins with this truth. Every behavior is a communication. Outburst, silence, apathy, avoidance, they all speak. The question is, are we listening? This approach calls us to replace judgment with curiosity. It requires educators to understand the impact of adverse childhood experiences, signs of dysregulation and emotional distress, the power of relationships in healing. Instead of punishment, we offer structure. Instead of pushing students out, we pull them in with care and boundaries. Healing doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in consistency. Before you teach the standard, you must meet the student. Trauma-informed schools don't excuse harmful behavior. They interrupt cycles of pain with compassion and accountability. When students feel safe, they can learn. When teachers feel seen, they can thrive. These 6 frameworks, true colors, consistency, decision-making, norms of collaboration, and Gandhi's teaching through the book, A Higher Standard of Leadership, diversity, equity, inclusion, and trauma-informed teaching have reshaped how I think, how I teach, and how I lead. They are more than content. They are commitments. To lead well is to lead with awareness. To teach well is to never stop learning. This isn't just a course that I've completed. This is a lens that I carry forward. Because our students deserve leaders who see them, who hear them, who believe in their brilliance before it's proven. Leadership begins on the inside, but its impact echoes far beyond the walls of any classroom.